Zoloft to get your head right.
Oh yeah, let's do this thing. Welcome for a late nice dose. A late nice dose? Yeah, it'll be a nice dose. A late night dose from TZL Un-Prescripted, y'all. Okay. I don't know, man. Maybe this stuff is just keeping me up. I should be no, I ain't that early of a go to bedder, man. I'm an all-nighter. I'm a night owl. Gotta stay up and like plot and plan. Cause evil never sleeps. And if evil never sleeps, man, then I gotta stay awake too, man, so we can ward off evil, right? I ain't trying to say that I'm evil, man, cause I don't sleep. Gotta stay up, man. We got a lot of Republicans out there talking about the sleeping giant. You've awakened the sleeping giant. Sound like the giant always sleeping while evil is taking over. The left is just taking over. We're gonna talk a little about that because I know conservatives they were hyped up for that recall, man. Hyped up for that recall. I know that a lot of Republicans were disappointed by that. Yeah, I'm disappointed too. But the thing is, I don't know. I gotta say my disappointment is a little bit different, because it was like not that I'm being a pessimist or anything like that, or setting myself up for failure. But I'm like, look, man, there's some things that had to be taken care of before you guys can execute this plan. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. But let me see. Let me. I don't know. This is some stuff that came across my desk this week, man. So let's see what I can prescribe for it. Mainly the prescription is for myself to keep myself sane, right? Get my grumpy observations on this stuff, man. What did I see? Nicki Minaj calls NBC's Joy Reid a lying L word, or not an L word. She called it a C word that rhymes with loon. Okay. Calls her a C word that rhymes with loon, and tells McCain to go eat some excrement. The S word for doo-doo. She told her to go eat some of that. All right, so let's see. Now, it looks like Nicki Minaj has this to say about Joy Reid, and I don't care. It's like they can go ahead and have their little cat fight. And don't get me wrong, man. I pray for the Lord's peace and truth to everybody, but it's like, these people, they're so wound up and they're so angry, and they're angry about a lot of stuff. And a lot of stuff that doesn't even, and it just comes out, they just start attacking each other because they're just deeply damaged people. So damaged idols, if you will, because a lot of people look up to these people, and they look up to these people having these cat fights too. So we got, what does Nicki Minaj say? This is what happens when you're so thirsty to down another black woman. Wow, it's like, I don't know, Joy Reid be downplaying white people too, particularly of the Republican or conservative persuasion or Christian persuasion. She has plenty to say about those white people. Is that not good enough for you? And she doesn't seem to have a very nice opinion of blacks who are not of her ideals either. So it looks like she's got plenty of bigotry to go around. As long as you don't think the way that she does, I guess she's got her nose turned up to you or anything like that. I guess that's not enough. That doesn't make you feel better. But at any rate, you feel like, but since she came after you, or she's got like a grievance with you, I guess she's got, that's the problem. Doesn't matter if she's got a problem with other people. She's got an issue with you. So now, just to show how narcissistic and full of Nicki Minaj is. But at any rate, by the request of the white man. Oh, so okay, so you're not answering to a lot of white people too, Nicki? I mean, just to think that it's sad that if a person disagrees with you, they've got like they say these things. I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm not trying to be self-absorbed here. I'm just going to use myself as an example. When people say like, you're just doing this to to please the white man, or you're being paid off by some conglomerate or something like that. It's like, are you so full of yourself? Are you so full of yourself that you think that in order for me to think different from you, somebody would have to pay me? It's like, no, I actually just think different from you. Nobody had to pay me to do that. That's not my motivation to think different from you. I just happen to think different from you. My views don't line up with yours. It's like, and that's not an influence of someone. Listen, when people try to, because I get it all the time. You're whitewashed and you're just influenced by all these white folks and stuff like that. Dude, I'm a black musician in Southern California. All right, what white conservative had influence over you. They're kind of in short supply here. Proven by the fact that, hey, people didn't vote for that recall. They still want this white elitist, this liberal, Democrat, satanic heathen. That's who they want. I wasn't influenced by that. If I was under the white man's influence, I'd be going along with that. I'm not, right? And nobody had to pay me to think different. I just do. Thanks be to God, I just do, right? So in this right here, you got Nicki all butthurt because Joy's like, yo, I got a different opinion than you. I don't like Joy Reid's opinion any more than I like Nicki. I don't like either one of their opinions. I think both of their opinions suck. Right. Well, actually, Nicki is actually even a broken rock. Even a she rock-headed. But anyway, I'm not saying that she's a rock smoker. I'm just saying she's hard-headed. I don't want to end up getting a suit saying that I'm saying that she smoked crackhead, chicken head, or something like that. No, I'm not doing that. She's just stubborn. But at any rate, she even a broken clock is right twice a day. And she's like, look, man, I got some suspicions about this so-called vaccine. I hear you. Right? So Joy is going to come and try to, lecture her about what she's supposed to be believing and how she's supposed to be, using her position of influence as if Joy Reid is responsible with her platform and her influence. She's not. She ain't. So she's going to try to lecture somebody else. It's like, hey, get over yourself. So Nicki, this pervert, at least has this, concern. Okay, well, good on you. Keep it up. Please do. Have those moments of clarity. Have more of those, right? Because other than that, you're a twisted pervert. But this right here, this is a little bit of untwisting, and I am glad to see that. Praise be to God. All right. So anyway, she goes on to say, by the request of the white man, that you didn't even bother to read all my tweets. Well, I don't know, probably because she doesn't want to look at, well, I don't know, maybe she does. She look at, your tweets, including pictures of your booty or something like that. I don't know. That seems to be something that Nicki Minaj is popular for. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I don't follow her tweets, so I don't know. Like I said, from what I understand, that's kind of like what she uses to get her popularity. So I don't know, maybe Joy didn't want to see Nicki's, booty, to be jealous of, or which I don't know, I'm just, just speculating. I said these are my observations. Anyway, so she says, my God, sister, what God? What God are you talking about? Joy, right? Your God is a deceiver. And, your God is just the devil. Because I know Jehovah God ain't got nothing to do with what you're thinking. So my God, sister, and all right, you're going to try to patronize her saying that she's your sister, whatever. Do better. Oh, she's going to tell Nicki to do better. Is this the part where Nicki tells her to go, it says, I'll dog walk you or something like that? Anyway, so do better. Imagine getting your sick, I guess that's some of that woke terminology. I don't know, whichever. Dumb ASS on TV a minute after a tweet to spread a false narrative about a black woman. She's hypocritically complaining about a black woman expressing a grievance against her. Okay, so both of these women are hypocrites. Okay, they're both hypocrites. Now, you got Nicki Minaj complaining about Joy Reid expressing a grievance with her. Okay, now, she's not allowed to do that. I guess she's not allowed to do that. And she's basically accusing her of doing it out of some sort of bigoted angle, like she's doing it to appease her white masters, or she's just like some sort of sellout C word or that rhymes with loon. I know people be like, well, Zoe, why don't you just go say it? I mean, you're a grown man. Hey, because I'm a grown man, I don't say it. I have a sense of restraint because I'm a grown man. I can't stand when people think that, oh, it's the adult thing to do to say the N-word. Just say it. Just say the C word. Just go ahead and say it. We're adults here. No, if you're an adult, you show some restraint and you don't let that word kick its way past your teeth. You have some strength and you don't help promote that nonsense in the culture. That's what you do if you're grown, right? Anyway, so no, I don't say those words. That's actually childish. Like Paul says, I stay away from childish things. I'm a grown man. I ain't no kid. Right? So I don't say these words. They're not, there's no redeeming value to it. There's no point in saying it. It only promotes it. And then when people get out there looking for, thinking that they have an excuse to say it and just go around saying it, and then they're wondering why is there so much racism? Why can't we just get along? Because you thought you were an adult and you say these words that you really shouldn't say. I don't care who you are, black, white, Mexican, I don't care. There's no reason to say these words. None. It's not helpful. It's not helpful to anybody. But you got these nuts out there saying it, but thinking that they've got redeeming value to say it or got a license to say it, and they wonder why things don't get better and why they're still so flipping miserable. All right? Anyway, so you got these women, both of them sellouts, both of them, they are. They're both sellouts, both self-loathing, both insecure, prideful women. Okay? And so you got Nicki making sure that she's the one displaying who's the more vicious, self-loathing black person. Is really what Nicki is doing. She's making this a competition. I'm more self-loathing. I'm more of a self-loathing black woman than you C-word that rhymes with loon, right? And also calling her an Uncle Tamina, right? Calling her that. It's like, wow, you gonna throw around the epithets, but you gonna try to accuse Joy Reid? And she's no better. She's no better for black folks than Nicki Minaj is. Neither one of them, right? Neither one of them are good for anybody. Tell you the truth, I'm not trying to say that, hey, jump off the planet. I'm not saying that. I wish that you would receive the Lord's light, receive the truth. That's what I really want for you. But your ideas is what I'm saying it what needs to go take a flying leap, right? Praying for these people, man. You gotta love your enemies. Take the strength of the Lord for that. So you got Nicki Minaj just going off on these racial epithets. So, and like I said, Joy Reid, she's a self-loathing black woman too. Same thing. Now as far as they're concerned, I'm the worst of them, right? I'm the worst. It's like I'm the guy say, hey, can you guys stop doing that to each other, please? Can you stop promoting stuff that actually hurts, the people that you claim to care about so much? Oh, shut up. You just a self-loathing, boot-licking Uncle Tom, house Negro, and all that. I'm like the worst, right? When I'm like the one saying, dude, can we stop doing that? Can we show some love, some real love for each other, right? So, but Joy Reid is putting up that fierce fight by encouraging blacks to believe that it's like you got Joy Reid lecturing Nicki Minaj, and along with the rest of the black community, basically telling the black community to just go ahead and partake in reliving the Tuskegee experiment. Let's get the whole nation in on it. The nation. Get the whole nation in on it, right? The whole nation is being sucked into a Tuskegee experiment, all right? But, you got Joy Reid, who particularly wants black folks to do it. It's like, wow, this so-called vaccine, this thing that is that's basically being tested on human beings, is not. As a matter of fact, I won't even bother calling it a test, right? This is a campaign. So Joy is a drone for it. Joy Reid is one of those people that the Democrat Margaret Sanger was talking about. Remember when she says we don't want the word to go out, that we're trying to exterminate, that we are, right? We're out to exterminate the black community. We're out to exterminate the Negro, right? And we're going to get the colored ministers to keep them in line. Joy Reid is one of those, right? When you're a minister, basically when you have a ministry is a service, and particularly a service of influence, all right? So she's not just talking about just the people who pose as pastors and stuff like that, but people who have a ministry, a service, particularly in messaging, right? So Joy Reid is one of those. She's one of those people in the Democrat Party, a Democrat drone, right? So she's one of those. She's a self-loather, all right? She's part of the population control and the arrested development of the black community. Sitting there trying to act like she's all woke and stuff, like she's got she's smart and she's woke and all that sort of stuff. No, she's sleep woke, right? She's a sleepwalker, straight up woke zombie. So the Priest of Chaotica, as I talk about in one of my songs from the Electric Exodus album, 20-Pound Sledge Baby, which is now Sledge X. Yeah. Get familiar. All right, so anyway, enough of them nuts. What else we got? AOC. we'll just talk a little. I ain't got much to say. I hope I don't have much to say about this. There's a lot to say about it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people's covered a lot of angles. I don't want to bore you because she bores the snot out of me, boy. Anyway, so AOC, looking like she was dressed up for her quinceañera or something. Had what is it? Look like, hey, AOC, somebody came and tagged you. They tagged the rich on you. Let me see. Tax the rich, I should say. Okay, here's the thing about these left-wing elitists, man, who put on these things like that, who put on these these expensive galas and can spend. I want you to know how much money they spent, right? Do you think? Okay, here's the thing, conservatives. And for y'all who are in the Zolofters, right? Who hang out. You guys get it. You guys know what's up, right? Conservatives out there, but there's a lot of conservatives out there who think that they know what's going on with these, and they don't. They think that they're going to catch these liberals in their hypocrisy. No. That only happens once in a blue moon, and they've got legions, y'all, legions to distract people from the hypocrisy. That when people are like, wait a minute, you're a total hypocrite. I see what you're doing, and you need to be, pay your due for that and all that sort of stuff. And not soon after that, while that's going on, they've got legions of liberals that are coming in, doing other stuff that takes their mind off it as they accuse Republicans and make them look like they're racist and this and all that sort of stuff to start to mitigate what this person was doing. Before you know it, they forget about this person, and it's on to the next thing to deceive people with, and they get away with it, right? Catching liberals in their hypocrisy, I know a lot of conservatives think that people are going to wake up to that. How long are you willing to wait for that to happen? Okay, that's not really an effective and winning strategy. See, you got to understand, when liberals put on these charades or these charades and parades and all that sort of stuff, and have these expensive galas and these high dollar entry donations and all that sort of stuff, you know what that is, y'all? That's them showing you that, hey, we can pay taxes. The rich should pay their fair share. We pay our fair share, right? No, but they want you to think we pay our fair share. Look how well we live. We're wealthy. We can afford this. Taxing us hasn't hurt us. Look how, and this could happen for you too. All you got to do is pay your fair share. If everybody paid their fair share, everybody could live like this. That's why they do it, and people are sold on it. They think that could be them too. Man, so I'm telling you, you don't understand. Why do you think they keep doing this? You think you're going to catch them in some hypocrisy? No, they are selling it. That's what conservatives don't understand. Liberals sell liberalism. They sell it. They sell socialism. And they sell oppression way more effective than conservatives sell freedom. That's really sad. Really sad. Because conservatives are too hung up on trying to sell a politician. That's what conservatives do, and it doesn't flip and work. Liberals sell liberalism. They sell socialism. They sell oppression, and it works for them. That's why they can do this stuff. You can fantasize that you can catch them in their hypocrisy. No! People look past their hypocrisy, and they see what they're doing, and they think, that could be me. It works. It works. It's been working. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Oh, come on, man. I was saying that. Well, Joe Biden's much older than I, but I was saying it before Joe Biden went hot mic on it. Well, it wasn't hot mic. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, so, and like I said, these people, they do this, man, and that's the key thing. That you can go ahead and people can get the information and get the stats and all that sort of stuff. It's like, dude, you don't understand. The Democrats have connected with people's imaginations. They have connected with people's emotions. They have connected with the things that people want to pay attention to. And the ways that they want to pay attention to it with. Conservatives don't do that. They haven't even begun, barely, to even tap into that. But they always think that it's going to be some political messiah that's going to come and take these people out. It's not sustainable. It's a fantasy. It's like conservatives live in much more of a fantasy world than liberals do. Too many, man. Too many. So at any rate, while you got conservatives out there trying to make fun of AOC's tax, Democrats are running circles around conservatives while conservatives are assuming to laugh at AOC, calling these people dummies, calling these people idiots. Oh, she's just a dumb bartender and stuff like that. Joe Biden's is got to mention he's mentally handicapped and all that stuff. These people beat you. Okay, so conservatives, I don't know why you guys, so many conservatives out there patting themselves on the back and trying to comfort themselves and make themselves feel better about how dumb these people are. They've taken the country. All right, so, talking to a brick wall here, man. Hi there, brick wall. Can we have a conversation? Okay, so, but thank you guys, man, for showing up, man, and helping me to understand that maybe I'm not crazy, that I'm not the only person who's thinking like this. And I really appreciate y'all. God bless you. Okay, so what else we got here, man? We got an actress on The View, an actress and the Harpies on The View. May they receive the Lord's peace and truth. Harpies on The View agreed that the Texas law. Wait for it. Actually, I'm the one who's late. You guys probably already heard this and stuff like that. I'm just now getting to it. Stuff bores me, man. I'll tell you. I want to play some rock and roll. I'm just trying to protect our freedoms to be able to play some rock and roll. I want to get to where I can play some rock and roll, man. And someday, well, maybe so. Maybe you should get good at it first, and maybe you'll be able to play some more. I'm trying. Okay, so what do we have here? Ferrara bashed the law, arguing that it is racist. It's racist. Okay, you ready? This so-called actress, right, in The View, are saying that it is racist to restrict abortions because it would oppress black and brown women. Yeah, let that sink in. Well, I mean, because I know Ferrari ain't gonna let it say she's too shallow. Right? She's way too, as I say, deeply shallow. Yes, they are worthy of that oxymoron. Yeah. These liberals are deeply shallow, so I'm afraid it's not going to sink in. It's going to take a drill, an oil derrick, from the Lord to drill, down beneath that surface, man. Let's see. Okay. Oppressive. It's oppressive to not allow them to have abortions. If I may, I'll make an attempt to reason with these folks. That's not the language that they speak, but this is just the platform I'm having. I'm trying to say, hey, conservatives, we got to support, man. It takes time, it takes money, it takes resources to be able to fight against this machine. Okay? And I hope that you guys will support so we can put the resources together to try to make the kind of content, not change the content, but package the content in ways that capture these people's attention. Okay, the way liberals have been doing, so they can lie to them. Let's capture their attention, in many of the same ways so we can tell them the truth. All right, but this is a platform I have, so I'm trying to reason. Right, this is the resources that I have. Because like I said, they don't speak the language of reason. They speak imagination. That's where they live. They're in imagination land. Just like she has to imagine that keeping blacks from having abortions is oppressive. That's where her imagination is. Because you can only imagine that, y'all. Do you understand? You can only imagine that. You can only imagine that keeping blacks from having abortions is oppressive. You can only imagine that. The truth is, forcing death, the reasoned truth, which truth is reasonable, but the reasonable observation is forcing death upon a prenatal kid of color is racist and oppressive. All right? So, to follow their narrative, we're going to talk about the racist narratives. Okay, well, if you're going to force death upon a prenatal kid, that's oppression. All right? And that's racist. So you're saying that they're not fully developed. That's your excuse, one of their excuses. They're not fully developed. Well, keeping black people from developing is racist and oppressive. But in their imagination, it's not. You see what I'm saying? They don't speak the language of reason. I would like to, I'm pretty sure you guys agree that what I just said is reasonable. It's not, but they don't understand that language. They're in imagination land, right? We don't communicate with them there. So let's see. Now this nut goes on to say, let's just call it what it is. This is what America, the so-called actress, or whatever. Yeah, she an actress, fine. A lot of their work is based in imagination. I ain't hating, I'm an actor too, right? Or at least I've worked in acting in a professional capacity. I've done some acting. I'm an actor that plays an actor, right? If you will. So she goes on, let's call it what it is. Access to abortion is about race and poverty. If you are rich and white, chances are you will find access to the health care that you need. Wow. Okay, side note, y'all. I don't know, maybe a lot of y'all don't know, maybe a few of you guys do. I was in a movie. I played a principal character, Detective Stark, in a movie called Gosnell, The Trial of America's Biggest Serial Killer. And this speaks to that, where and Gosnell was an abortion facilitator, and he favored white clients. He gave them special treatment over his black clients. And Gosnell himself was black. Yes, Gosnell, black himself, gave the white patients special treatment, gave the black patients horrible treatment, all right? Or any patient of color. If they weren't white, he treated them like dogs, all right? So actually, I think dogs got better treatment. So now I get to where I'm reminded of that because of what this person is saying, but let's go a little deeper into what she's talking about here, and I'll try because, like I said, you can't really go deep with these people. They're very shallow, deeply shallow. So she's trying to make this dynamic between the rich white people, who they get abortions too, and the poor black folks needing abortions. Now, according to their narrative, the narrative that they're just totally inconsistent with, as you look at it right here, I thought one of the main reasons why these people support abortion, like this nut, was to keep kids from being born into poverty. I thought that was the objective. That was their motive. That's their self-righteous idea of mercy, by the way. The mercy killing method to protect the poor, right? The poor wanting to have an abortion, to tell you the truth, have just as much access to abortion as the rich. Actually, this person really doesn't know what they're talking about. It's the poor. If you look at the numbers, a lot of kids of color who are in the poverty level are the ones who are really stepping in to get their abortions. More so than the people who have access. And when she's talking about access to do it, access to abortion, not only do they have access to abortion as much as any other white rich person, they have access to other people's money to do it. So she doesn't seem to know what she's talking about. If she was halfway observant, she would understand that that's why you're on The View as it is, because of you seem to have a problem with the fact that people aren't going to be getting these free abortions. Well, that's because that's an actual real thing that they already have, that people do have these accesses to abortion and accesses to other people's money to do it, which you're trying to stay away from, while you're trying to fantasize that it's something else, So now, if you think that abortions are necessary to protect against, poverty, why are you making the case that rich white people are having a fields day with abortions? It's like I said, it's these people, they don't make any sense because they're not reasonable people. They live in imagination land. Blacks are a much smaller population than whites, yet still abort their children more than whites. Okay, and then these black folks, the black folks wonder why they're only 13% of the population. you know? So this nut is too socially dyslexic to see that this actually protects blacks, not oppresses them. What she's talking about, what she wants to do, oppresses blacks and is totally racist, right? But in this twisted person's mind, if you're not letting blacks, if you keep them from denying the right to live to their black offspring, then you're oppressing them, right? Okay, and still these witches insist that abortion is a healthcare issue and a healthcare right, right? Strange stuff, man. These people are weird. All right, so what other crap is out there? Okay, speaking of crap, take me a sip. All right, Rubio style. Okay, so let's we had that recall. Let's talk a little bit about that recall. A lot of Republican voters, California, really disappointed, right? Like they're shocked. It's like, why are y'all surprised? I'm gonna be, leave it to me to come in and go doo-doo in the punch bowl. All right, sorry, I'm just gonna do it. And no, I wouldn't do that. That would be rude. But I'm speaking in metaphor. I'm not actually going to jump off the table and go do it in a punch bowl. But seriously, this is going to be hard to swallow for a lot of conservatives. They don't want to hear it. They continue to do this stuff like all the time. And I know I have a crass way of talking about this sort of stuff, but it's like, why? What good has it been doing for these people to be so composed? And and really, to tell you the truth, I don't really see where a lot of, Republican voters are being composed themselves. Not that I'm condoning that sort of stuff, but anyway, man, let me shut up. Let me just get all right to it. Okay, the recall. Not trying to be a Debbie Downer here or a pessimist or anything like that. Of course, I'm going to support the recall. Of course, I'm going to support Larry Elder replacing Gavin Newsome. Yes, definitely. However, did I think that the recall would be pulled off? No. And not only did I think the recall would be pulled off, having Larry Elder as governor is not sustainable. It's like conservatives don't understand. They don't do the groundwork to make this work. Conservatives keep trying to answer this all politically. You can't. All right. Now there's exceptions to every rule. Every once in a while, you're going to have this happen. It's an exception. It's not a rule. Okay. You don't have the cultural groundwork done. You're not prepped for it. Okay. Liberals make the strides that they make. And please understand this about Democrats and liberals. And this is one of the reasons why conservatives don't succeed against liberals. One, conservatives are telling Democrats to do their job and to uphold the Constitution and all that sort of stuff. That's not why Democrats are in office. And conservatives don't seem to understand that. They think that Democrats are supposed to be honorable. No, they're criminals. Okay, there's good guys and there's bad guys. There's cops and there's robbers. Okay, Democrats are who Democrats are. Don't expect them to do the job according to the way that you think they should do their job. That wouldn't make them Democrats now, would they? They'd be something else. But no, they're Democrats. And their job is to undermine America. They want to tear down America and remake it into what they think that they want. One, they think America should be a democracy, right? That's why they're Democrats. They believe that by popular vote, when we talk about Democrats, demos, or however you say it in the Latin or Greek or whichever, it turns out to mean popular. And self-righteousness and selfishness is very popular. And that's what Democrats cater to. They want the popular vote to be able to make that the law of the land, and people have to abide by that, totally ignoring the rule of law that's based on the supreme law of God. They want to have the power to outdo that. That's who Democrats are. They are at odds with the Word of God and at odds with the Constitution itself. So when you tell them to do their job, trust me, they're gonna. And they're gonna be at odds with the Constitution because that's what they're put in office to do. They have no respect for this country. They have no respect for the Constitution. They went to war against the Constitution. They're still at war with the Constitution. They've been at war with the Constitution since the Confederacy. That's who they are. And I don't think that doesn't register with a lot of conservatives. They don't get that. And that's one of the reasons why you can't beat them, because you don't know who they are, right? You keep trying to resolve this politically. You can't do it that way. All right? These people are driven by demons. You can't beat that politically. All right? This is a spiritual war. And you ain't prepped for it. You ain't trained up for it. You ain't prayed up for it. All right? About as much as you concern yourself with God is when you say, God bless America. That's about it. Not too many conservatives. They think they're too good for God, too sophisticated. They think they can solve this on their own. It ain't working. Okay? You got most of the conservatives out there put their politics before the kingdom, put their country before the kingdom. That's what they do. You ain't going to solve it that way. You're just not. All right, so now don't get me wrong. There's some people who are you know, they have the savvy, they have the ability to do these political challenges and stuff like that. But that's all well and good. But if you don't have the cultural groundwork laid, it just ain't gonna work. It's not going to work. So when you're talking about trying to recall Gavin Newsom, one of the things that you would hear is, you know, and unfortunately, you know, even Larry Elder said it. It said, hey, you know, it's like, man, I said this before, Larry, don't pander. Don't pander. Don't try to make us feel like this isn't our fault. This is Newsom's fault. Okay, conservatives running for office, don't do that, man. Don't do that. Stop, you know, kid gloving with people. Say it like it is. You want to try to blame this on Newsom? You want to blame what's going on California? You want to just blame that on Newsom and say this is Newsom's fault? No, this is the people's fault. Listen, conservatives, were you not going to be satisfied until you got the reckoning that California really doesn't like you? And I know it's like, well, it's not about being liked. Actually, yeah, it kind of is. You have to have a sense of relatability. You have to be able to connect with these people. You're not going to do that politically. It's the consent of the governed, right? These people do not consent to conservative governance. They don't consent to that. It hasn't been sold on them. Liberalism has been sold on them. They sell it. Conservatives don't. You try to sell candidates. You're like patients, man, who listen, you know, who don't listen to the doctor. And when the doctor's like, hey, man, it's too late now. You should have listened to. We're going to have to amputate something. They're like, no, we got to do something. We got to do something. It's like, no, did I told you what you needed to do? You don't listen. You tried to go about it your own way, you know, and did not listen and still don't listen. You think that it's going to be some political messiah that's going to come in and change everything. It does not work that way. It doesn't work. There's cultural groundwork that has to be laid, and conservatives don't lay it. They don't hardly support it. Very few do. Like y'all. A very blessed few support, you know, the truth that you have to take this to a cultural level, right? And you can't just assume that you're going to ride in on a white horse and do it. Only Jesus can do that. You know, it's not going to work with us. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so trying to get conservatives to understand that no, you can't assume that you can't put this on the shoulders of a politician. It's not going to work. It's going to take more than making phone calls. It's going to take more than precinct walking. Man, you know, look, and you know, I'm going to really step on some toes here. You know, there's entertainers, you know, in Hollywood. And you wouldn't know that because you hardly see them do anything. Every once in a while, here and there, you might see something from them. You know, and God bless them for trying. But every once in a while. But, you know, you've heard about it for years, this conservative movement for Hollywood. What's it really amounted to? Like I said, every once in a while, you might see a project or something like that. You know, and like I said, even I was involved in a theatrical release. You know, these things are very impactful, right? But see, liberals have stockpiles of this stuff. They got legion. They got just inventory of it, always cranked out. And for every 100, maybe even 1,000 productions that they put out, conservatives maybe put out one, right? Now, there's supposed to be conservative entertainers in Hollywood, right? How much do you see them do? Not really anything. But they mobilize for a politician. For that, they'll do. I say, wait a minute, how did you guys get all this time? Where did you get the time? Where did you get the money? Where did you get the energy to pull together for a politician? Knowing that ain't gonna, don't you know by now that that's not gonna work? How come y'all don't pull your resources together, start brainstorming, and how to put out compelling content to capture people's imaginations? And when you connect with them, start conveying the truth to them. You've made the connection. You got a conduit now to deliver the truth. Conservatives don't do that. They talk about it, but they don't do it. What really? How much do you see? Not much, right? There might be some stuff that I'm oblivious to, but you don't really see much, do you? No, because conservatives in Hollywood or in California, whichever, they don't really pull together. They may get together and complain about liberals and stuff like that, but putting ideas together to like really make an outlet of content, creative content, to have an effect on the culture, to capture people's imagination, say, hey, wait a minute, I never thought about it like that. That's pretty interesting. Do they do that? No, not really. No. So I don't know, maybe too many, their heads are too big to work with it. I've worked with some, conservatives in Hollywood. Yeah, big egos, big. You can't tell them nothing. But, and some are just unreasonably difficult to work with. It's like, why are you making this unnecessarily complicated? And some people have probably seen me that way too. And I beg of the Lord to change my heart to where I'm easy to work with. Some people may figure I'm not easy to work with. I might not be. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to, sell myself short and be involved with some nonsense. Hey, man, I'm not doing that. And it's like, no, you're just being difficult. It's like, no, dude, seriously, that's not going to work. I understand, but I don't want to be difficult, and I don't want to be like just some obstinate presence on the set that's not, contributing to anything. But, some people are just difficult to work with. There's a lot of egos. It's like, well, what else could it be? Because you don't see these people really doing much, do you? No, not really. So that kind of stuff that's when I say, why are you surprised? Where was your mobilization to really do something? It's not ongoing. It's like, I'll make it a tip. It's like a person, wanting to go on a diet or lose weight or something like that. And they try a few sit-ups. It's like, oh, this isn't working. It's like, what, dude, you only tried a couple of sit-ups. Get your behind back in there and start sweating. But conservatives don't really, they give a couple of attempts here and there. Let me go back to see if I can get into another liberals production or something like that. That's how that goes down. I don't want to be outed, my career. It's like you losing your country. And if you lose your country, it's definitely going to have an effect on your career, much worse, right? And we're seeing that now. A lot of people's careers are being shot down. And that's not just in the acting community or the writing or the gaffer or the editing or whichever. Okay, it's cooks and sales associates and people doing construction or stuff like that. People are hurting for work because we're losing our country. So but you got people out there. Oh, I don't want to be outed because my career and like what career? A lot of people like what career do you have to be so? What career are you trying to protect anyway? So man, maybe it's. And people wonder why people think the conservatives are selfish, So you can lose a lot worse than your career. You keep this up, man, and it's like you think America can't become like one of these third world countries or something like that. And it's not like it hasn't happened in America before, where people were dragged out of their homes and stuff like that. Democrats are notorious for that. They've done it before. You don't think Democrats won't go back to doing it again? They're kind of on their way. So, but you want to make sure that if you want to act like, this stuff can't happen, it's like, well, then like liberals, you're living in fantasy land. So, like I said, y'all, looking at what Democrats are doing, there's a model there for you. The liberals they're making their stuff work. They're cheaters, they're liars, and they're able to sell it. And also that's if anything, that's right now. It probably a really better idea is for y'all to just go get my audiobook, A Solid Right Cross, and you can see how this stuff works. You can just listen to see how it works, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, in California, do you not see? Was it not conservatives? Was it not apparent enough to you? Was it not apparent enough that people in California prefer lunacy to lucidity? Has that been made clear enough to you? Has it been made clear enough to you that there is some groundwork that needs to be laid? Has it been made clear enough to you that the answer to this is not in a politician? You get your governor. What does that mean? It means counties and cultures that are going to say, No. You can go ahead and try to implement your laws. You're just gonna have chaos. You're gonna have rebellion. So against all the things that Newsome has ruined, right? The ever climbing gas taxes. We pay the highest gas rates in America and the highest tax rate for gas. Despite all that, despite businesses closing down, despite people losing their jobs and stuff like that, the growing homeless problem, you know, the worst school, right? Education, horrible. You know, it goes on. Now, despite all that, conservatives, they still chose that over you. You know, conservatives don't understand that Democrats have conditioned people. It's not even so much that people enjoy the fact that people are losing their jobs. It's not so much that people enjoy that the gas prices are so high. You know, they know how to word that sort of stuff where they pipe that stuff in and people vote for it, and you know, and they're just stupid. They don't really know what they voted for, right? But here's the thing. They would rather have that. They would rather deal with that nonsense than to be governed by the racist that you've been made out to be. You see what I'm saying? And because I talk about this in my book, and I've talked about it a million times. I keep telling conservatives, they helped Democrats promote this idea of them. And they would rather have Newsome, this nut, they would rather have him than you, because you've been made out to be more evil than what Newsome is, and you helped them. You see what I'm saying? You helped them with this perspective. I'm trying to tell you. The conservatives don't want to listen to that. They don't want to hear it. They cannot possibly believe. They're way too full of themselves, too many, way too full of themselves to possibly believe that they could do something so blind. They don't believe it. They're way too full of themselves. And I'm like, yeah, you did. You think these Democrats who you think that are so stupid, who are so foolish, you think they got there on their own? No, they got help. They got help from you. All right. So I'm trying to, you know, like I said, you know, because a lot of conservatives, they don't want to hear that sort of stuff. They want to just go ahead and keep on doing what they're doing, which doesn't work. That's insanity. Just doing the same old thing over and over again, you know, thinking that it's gonna have a different result, right? Now I know what I'm talking about is making sense. That's why the liberal overlords shut my stuff down and make it to where people can hardly see it, because they know that if conservatives were to catch on to this, it would work. If they would do it, it would work, right? But they're not going to do that. So it's a sad thing, man. And I'm trying, but you know, it's doable. That's the thing about it. It's one of the things that, you know, I keep hoping in. You know, the Lord is always my hope, and he gives us resources. Just got to put them into practice, you know, and we could, but, you know, I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know what it's going to take, you know, for conservatives to realize that, hey, man, you might want to take a different direction on this. Not change your principles, but change your tactics. All right, y'all. Let's see. And just really quick, you know, what was that thing, you know, just to kind of show what liberals are able to get away with, was some girl in a gorilla face, right? She had the gorilla mask on her and trying to, you know, go after Larry Elder, you know, calling him a white supremacist, you know, like, dude, really? It must be nice. I guess all of a sudden, Larry Elder can be a racist now. He's black. I thought black people couldn't be racist, but all of a sudden, according to her, Larry Elder is a racist. Which means congratulations, black folks have graduated. This white liberal has given Larry the certification that black people can be racist. All right, I guess you know, we've earned our wings. We have a standing in the community now. We can be racist because, you know, remember, black people couldn't be racist because we didn't have any power. Only the white people can be racist because they have the power, which is basically in effect saying that white people are superior. So these people who are saying down with white supremacy are basically calling white people superior anyway, because they say that they're the ones with the power. Okay, yeah, see, this is the kind of imagination land that we have to deal with, y'all. And there's a way to do that, right? I hope you guys will support. Let other folks know. Support at bronzeserpentmedia.com. And by the way, y'all, I'm trying to get off of YouTube. I don't want to be dependent on YouTube anymore. So come October, y'all, I'm going to be doing these TZLs and the Zopium Den and all that good stuff from my website. So I hope that you guys will go and sign up at my website. It's free. Sign up for free. That way we can have our community on there. We're going to have Bronze Serpent City, baby. And you guys can come in and we can comment and chop things up and put in our ideas and all that sort of stuff. So I hope that you guys will go and get your membership there, so you guys can be still be tuned in. And yeah, let's stop feeding the monster, man. It's like I'm on YouTube. I'm not fighting the monster. I'm feeding it. You know, I don't want to be food for the monster anymore. So I just want to go ahead and operate from my website, and all the stuff will be shareable anyway. Right? You can still share the stuff from my website. You can embed it. You can give the URL code, and you can share the stuff from there. It's better. Wouldn't you rather do that from my website? You know, send the traffic to my website rather than sending traffic to the enemy, right? So anyway, I hope you guys will do that. Drop a buck in the bucket at Bronze Serpent Media if you are so inclined and you enjoy these productions. And you know, make sure you get the mugs. Check out the music. 20-Pound Sledge, which is now Sledge X. And hopefully I'll have some, you know, God willing, soon I'll have some new Sledge X material out there. Not just the covers, which I do enjoy doing. Hope you guys check out the cover I did of September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I'm still working on trying to hone my skills to really come out, you know, with with an even better album. All right, y'all. Blessings, and we'll talk again soon.